Hello everybody, this is Dr. Cole. Sunday evening, April 4th, Easter Sunday. Moving now into week 13 of Political Science 3143 for the spring term 2021. Everyone on the syllabus this week is Russia, with China the following week, and then not this week but next week we've got quiz 7 scheduled, and we sent you some material for quiz 7. 4 articles in all. I believe I sent the text of one of them, cut and paste and scanned into an email. And for the other 3 articles, you have links that should work. So that will be the material for quiz 7 next week. I believe we've scheduled that for Wednesday of next week. So you'll have 2 pieces to look at for Russia and 2 on China. Now everyone, as we know, China is a very important country, and my files are full of material on China. I didn't know if I could do justice to China with just the 2 articles I sent you for the quiz, so I sent out some supplementary readings, texts of 3 articles that were sent to you by email, and notice that it was indicated in that message that these are not formally assigned. You will not be responsible for them for the quiz or the exam, but students of this subject matter may be very curious about China, which is a very, very important country, and the relationship between the United States and China is very important to the world going forward. So I wanted to give you a more complete picture of what is going on within China. We then sent some material out that is not formally assigned, in addition to the 2 pieces about China that I'm going to have you look at for the quiz. Now we'll say more about all that next weekend, because the following week we will have China on the syllabus along with our quiz. So for this week it's Russia. Let me say just a few words about Russia. Russia is a country that, as we know, at the end of the Cold War, when the Soviet Union collapsed, attempted to make a transition from a system in which the economy had more or less entirely been controlled by the Soviet government to some semblance of a free market economy. And that was not entirely successful. What happened was, when the economy was privatized, it happened in such a way that certain individuals who came to be known as oligarchs became quite wealthy and were resented by much of the Russian population. When Vladimir Putin took control, many Russian citizens became convinced that he was doing a good job of bringing the plutocrats or the oligarchs to heel and putting some limit on their prerogative and their wealth. They had made out like bandits, many people in Russia felt. So he continues to have the support of a fair proportion of the Russian population. It's hard to tell exactly how much because of the way the political system works. Once Putin took control, what happened was that we moved to a situation in which, to most people in the West, in the United States and Western Europe, looks like a sort of orchestrated facsimile of democracy, in which we have a system that's dominated by Putin and his United Russia Party, but still with the appearance, at least, of party competition. There are 3 other parties, at least 3 other major parties, but to most observers it looks as though Putin and his followers and his organization have such ironclad tight control that they're able to sort of orchestrate the competition among the parties so that Putin and his people come out on top every time in every election. And they continue to have elections, which is significant because very often, even in a regime that we would describe as authoritarian, the leadership still feels it necessary to have elections, shall we say, just for the sake of appearances. And that can be significant. That can give an opposition a chance to gain a foothold, even in the system that you might regard as authoritarian, which is the way many people would describe Russia today. Now, of course, within the past few months, we've had the appearance, well, maybe before the last few months, going back perhaps sometime before that, the appearance of opposition leader Alexei Navalny. But we know that over the last few months, he was poisoned and survived the poisoning widely suspected that the Russian government was behind that. There's not much doubt about that among observers in the West. Whether Vladimir Putin gave the direct order, I don't really know, but it certainly arouses suspicion. He recovered from the poisoning, Navalny did. He returned to Russia, was arrested and put on trial, and he is now imprisoned in what was called back during the Soviet days a gulag. And we're told he's having health difficulties in this maximum security prison for which he's perhaps not receiving adequate treatment. The most recent news is within the past few days he's going on a hunger strike. So an example of a system, perhaps an authoritarian system, with orchestrated elections that perhaps give the appearance of party competition. But at least some of the Russian populace is happy with this. And whether the system will evolve in a different direction in years to come is difficult to say. So you'll be reading about that in the class notes and in the articles we've had you look at for the quiz. The quiz will be not this week, but next week. And we'll have some material for you to look at on both Russia and China for the quiz that will be taking place in about 10 days, the middle of not this week, but next week. That will be quiz number 7. Material on both Russia and China to look at. Also, everybody, I've heard from one student about a country report. Remember, if you want to make an A in the course, you need to submit a country report. And we have 5 weeks left in the term. Grades are due Monday, May 10th. That's 5 weeks from tomorrow. So you have time to get to work on that if you wish. If you're looking at a particular country, please contact me, and I'll try to be of whatever assistance I can on your country report project if you choose to do one. Okay, so we'll have more to say about China 1 week from tonight, and a few days after that, we will take quiz number 7. So be looking at that material on Russia, and we'll talk to you again 1 week from tonight at this time, roughly speaking. Take it easy.